The news at 10 begins with breaking news. At least 7 people have been shot in West Philadelphia, sending swarms of police to a city park. Good evening, I'm Joe Holden. The shots rang out at 54th Street and Lansdowne Avenue. That is where we find Eyewitness News reporter Dan Koob live in West Philadelphia right now with more. Dan.
Joe, we're still waiting to find out exactly why this happened, but you mentioned 7 people shot here at 54th and Lansdowne in West Philadelphia. Philadelphia police are telling us this occurred after a large crowd forming at a basketball game just to my left when shots rang out. Police confirming to us 6 people have been taken to Presbyterian Hospital. 1 has been transported to University of Penn Hospital. Now, condition-wise, 6, we're told, are in stable condition. No word as of yet on the condition of a 7th person. This happened around 9 o'clock tonight, and there have not been any arrests as of late. Information, as I mentioned, Joe, a little limited at this point. We're hoping to find out a little more before Eyewitness News at 11. For right now, we're live at 54th and Lansdowne in West Philadelphia. Dan Koob, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
Dan, thank you for that report. We understand the police commissioner is there. We will check back with you if information becomes available. Thank you, Dan. Protests here and across the country over President Trump's decision to start immigration raids tomorrow. The sweeps will not be targeted here in Philadelphia, but they are expected to target other cities and about 2,000 people a judge has already ordered to be deported. Correspondent Carter Evans reports.
I'm here because President Trump has said ICE will attack thousands of families, separating children from parents.
Passionate protesters today in Chicago joined those in cities around the nation.
ICE has got to go!
Fighting back against planned deportation raids set to begin Sunday. In Oakland, California, Naomi Islas is worried her family could be targeted.
Maybe one day I'll go home and my parents aren't going to be there.
Throughout the country, undocumented immigrants like Gerson Quinteros are on edge.
I feel like scared every day. I don't know what to do, but I know that with my community, I'm in strength.
They came in illegally. They have to go out.
The president confirmed Friday ICE agents will be focusing on immigrants with removal orders in at least 10 cities.
They're going to take people out and they're going to bring them back to their countries, or they're going to take criminals out, put them in prison, or put them in prison in the countries they came from.
While large-scale deportation actions are not uncommon, most don't receive this kind of publicity. And this one is getting pushback from cities with large immigration populations like San Francisco.
Everyone is guaranteed certain rights under the Constitution, whether they are in this country illegally or not.
In Los Angeles, Sheriff Alex Villanueva has advice for immigrant families.
Keep your doors shut and ask for a search warrant. And if they don't have it, well, then don't open the door.
Officials in Los Angeles estimate there could be up to 1 million undocumented immigrants in this county alone. And authorities here have said they will not help federal agents with any immigration arrests. Carter Evans, CBS News, Los Angeles.
New at 10, a transformer fire causes a massive power outage in New York City. This spans from Manhattan to LaGuardia Airport in Queens. Flights were delayed and terminals closed in the city's second largest airport. Meanwhile, the subway was reportedly frozen and lights cut off around dusk. The energy company ComEd is working to restore power to some 40,000 customers. Tonight, we're tracking Tropical Storm Barry as it slowly moves inland. Barry made landfall along the Louisiana coast this afternoon, flooding highways, forcing people to scramble to rooftops, and dumping heavy rain. And here's a live look in New Orleans right now from EarthCam. It is a wet Bourbon Street tonight, kind of quiet. New Orleans mayor is urging everyone not to let their guard down as the storm system weakens. Here's now more with correspondent Hillary Lane.
Barry is making its slow move over Louisiana. The storm hit the state's southern coast as a Category 1 hurricane Saturday, but almost immediately weakened to a tropical storm. Now rain threatens large parts of the region.
Usually we'd say, okay, the worst is over, but actually the worst is just beginning right now because the heaviest rain bands are just beginning to move on shore.
The Coast Guard rescued a dozen people from flooded areas of Terrebonne Parish, south of New Orleans. In New Orleans, a flash flood watch was extended through Sunday evening.
The expected rain, as you know, could lead to flooding throughout the city of New Orleans. We are not in any way out of the woods.
New Orleans built a multi-billion-dollar flood protection system after Hurricane Katrina, and now Barry will put it to the test.
No Mississippi River levee has been overtopped, and not a single levee in the state of Louisiana, as of right now, has failed or breached.
But this levee in Myrtle Grove, south of New Orleans, was one of several that have overtopped. It is not a key levee protecting the Mississippi River. Early Saturday, water from Lake Pontchartrain filled the streets of Mandeville, about 30 miles north of New Orleans, creating some lighter moments for residents as the Gulf rides out the storm. Hillary Lane, CBS News, New Orleans.
Let's get more now on where Barry is headed from our meteorologist, Lauren Casey. Lauren.
Thanks, Joe. Well, taking a look at Barry right now, the center of circulation, you can see right about here in western Louisiana. This is a very asymmetrical storm system because on the eastern side, you have all of this heavy rainfall where New Orleans is located. On the western side of the system, hardly anything going on, but we still do have these rain bands offshore right now. You can see continuing to blossom over the last couple of hours, and this will continue to move its way onshore. So coastal Louisiana is going to deal with more rainfall and heavy rainfall at that. So the rainfall is heavy in intensity, then it's training or moving over the same areas again and again. Also in the New Orleans area, a tornado warning just expiring. Tornadoes also a threat with tropical systems, and we see about 95% of those tornadoes on the eastern side of tropical systems. But of course, the main threat is going to be the water with this system, and that threat for heavy rainfall as we head into the next several days as Barry slowly moves its way northward. In locations eastern Louisiana, portions of western Mississippi could see over 10 inches of rainfall in the next several days, potentially up to 20 inches locally throughout this event. Right now, Tropical Storm Barry at about 60-mile-per-hour wind speeds, motion off to the north-northwest, very slow at 8 miles per hour. It will continue this motion into the mid-south, eventually midwest as we push towards midweek, making that extra tropical transition as we push into Tuesday. We could potentially see some of this tropical moisture as we head into Wednesday or Thursday. So stay tuned to that evolving forecast. But for tomorrow, nothing but sunshine. Same case on Monday, but oppressive heat and humidity returns, as does that storm chance. We'll talk more about that coming up.
Lauren, thank you. The area is still recovering from devastating storms that caused deadly flash floods earlier this week. This is a look at Pottstown Park. Rushing water that swept through the area, toppled fences, and left debris piled up. This is not far from where a pregnant mother and her son were killed. The park is usually a bustling place with a popular splash pad on a hot summer Saturday. Instead, it was all closed today.
I came from 35 minutes away to bring my kids to the sprinkler park. Comes to find out they're closed, but I had checked the website, but it doesn't say anything on the website until we get here. That's a waste of time.
And recovery efforts still in full swing. Borough officials did place a notice inside the park that, of course, it was closed due to storm damage. A man is dead following a single car crash in Lehigh County that police believe was caused by speeding. It happened just before 10 last night on Dauphin Street in Hanover Township. Police say the driver lost control while negotiating a right-hand curve in the northbound lane. The car spun out of control and crashed into a tree. The driver was identified as 40-year-old Victor Soprano. Police continue to investigate a double shooting in Northampton County. Gunfire ringing out around 11:30 last night at 11th and Lehigh Streets here in Easton. 2 people were found shot. They were taken to local hospitals. There is still no word on their conditions at this time. An elderly murder suspect is in custody tonight, found hiding out 1,600 miles away from the scene of the crime. Eyewitness News has been following the manhunt for Edgar Himmel since last Sunday. That's when police found the body of his wife, Penny Himmel, inside their home there in Palmer Township. She had been shot in the head multiple times. Police obtained intelligence that Himmel had been staying in hotels in Nebraska. Very early this morning, they arrested him at a hotel near Denver. Tonight, a Manchester Township man is charged in his mother's murder. Police say he is 63-year-old Thomas Foster. It was first thought his mother, 85-year-old Carolyn Foster, died of natural causes, but following an autopsy, authorities determined there was foul play. Thomas Foster was then arrested and charged with murder. PECO is still trying to get power restored to nearly 24 customers in historic Old City after that underground fire caused closures. There were disappointed tourists in the area of 4th and Market Streets. All of this due to that raging fire. The flames were shooting out of the manhole for a time. A representative with PECO says an explosion occurred overnight. The fire was under control within an hour and a half, but power was shut off for most of the day. The National Museum of American Jewish History was just one of the sites closed.
We were going to go around. We were going to go into the Ben Franklin building. We were going to see the Liberty Bell. We wanted to print out the Constitution, and now we can't do that, so it's disappointing.
Luckily, there were no injuries. Crews are still investigating what caused the explosion. A bizarre stunt in Bethlehem causes headaches for people in town. The ordeal now over, and now the man, well, involved, he was taken into custody. He climbed 280 feet to the top of the steel stacks yesterday and then spent about 21 hours up there while negotiators tried to coax him down. Meanwhile, the area was evacuated, causing the cancellation of several outdoor events at the former steel plant that now serves as an arts campus. Eyewitness News spoke to the chief of police before that man did come down.
Throughout the evening, the Bethlehem Police Crisis Negotiation Team, two of the members have been communicating with him, attempting to negotiate with him to come down peacefully.
Again, he came down on his own just before 6 o'clock tonight. He was again taken into custody. There's no word on possible charges pending. Still ahead on Eyewitness News, a crash landing. A plane slams into a swimming pool. What it hit first that sent it on this crash course? And we'll show you how first responders are training to keep people in our area safe. The news at 10 on the CW Philly continues right after this.
Gunfire.
And we're back here right now following breaking news out of West Philadelphia. That is Police Commissioner Richard Ross briefing reporters on the shooting at a basketball game. Let's go ahead and listen in.
I didn't even get critical, but you know, I would think that you're probably right to err on the side of caution, but they're just giving us, police radio is giving us stable for all the victims. But again, this is preliminary, and so, you know, when I say there are no fatalities, I will just say at this point. But most of them are leg shots and arm shots and a graze wound to the head and one to the face, a graze wound to the face as well. Had to be somewhat chaotic.
Commissioner Richard Ross continuing to brief reporters. What he has said in the last 2 minutes is that 7 have been hit. Their ages between 18 and 28 years of age at 54th and Lansdowne. The commissioner says 2 men fired into the crowd. He reports that there were hundreds of people at this location for a basketball game and a party in the area. We continue to work all angles of this story. We will have a full report on Eyewitness News over on CBS 3 at 11. Continuing on, new information tonight on a deadly plane crash in Texas. A 70-year-old pilot slammed into trees in a pool maintenance building near Houston. The plane caught fire and pieces of it ended up there in a community swimming pool. Fortunately, there was nobody on the ground when that plane went down. The pilot was killed. Federal investigators are now working to determine what went wrong. First responders got the chance to practice their response to a potential terrorist attack. Eyewitness News at the Bucks County Business Park, where dozens of SEPTA officials hosted emergency management agencies to rehearse how to handle a terror emergency on a passenger train. The simulated drill allowed first responders to coordinate their rescue and response tactics.
Agencies participating today have been phenomenal in allowing us to bring them into our environment, give them the opportunity to practice, because it's not something they typically get an exposure to. And if we ever have a real event, we know that everyone's better prepared for it.
The simulation was conducted as part of a new federal mandate that requires a full-scale terrorism response rehearsal every year, and it is not in response to any known threat. Let's get a check on the forecast here with meteorologist Lauren Casey. It was a steamy one out there today.
Yeah, it was a nice day, nice summer day, what we would expect. Temperatures pretty close to average, a lot of sunshine, little steam, but not too much steam.
Yeah, but you're going to kick that up a notch, right?
Yeah, going to kick it up,
All
but
right.
not tomorrow. Tomorrow we stay okay, and it's a beautiful evening as we get a live look at Center City, Philadelphia, Logan Square, the fountain looking good. Everyone was out today taking a dip, cooling off from typical summer-like conditions. And we're still quite warm at this late hour. 83 degrees in Philadelphia, still at 80 in Wilmington, 75 degrees in Allentown. We've fallen off into the 60s in the Poconos and a little bit cooler down the shore right now. We're at 76 in Stone Harbor, still up at 78 in Ocean City, and 76 degrees right now in Cape May. Dew points, though, they were pretty tolerable throughout the day today. Dew points staying in that kind of near 60-degree threshold throughout much of the day, but they have crept up over the last couple of hours, so we're starting to push now into this more humid category, and we'll keep that around through the overnight period, but by midday tomorrow, we'll be back down into the not bad category on the comfort index, and by Monday, we'll be down into the pleasant category with dew points in the 50s in store, but overnight tonight, keeping it nice, clear, and quiet. A low temperature at 73 degrees. Temperature is a bit hotter tomorrow. A lot of sunshine. We're up to 92 degrees, but as I mentioned, not too humid, so not much of an impact on that heat index. Northwesterly winds will catch a little bit of a breeze as well, up around 10 to 15 miles per hour. Storm Scan 3 showing us quiet conditions. We'll take it. We're already at 4.5 inches of rain in Philadelphia for the month. That's about 3 inches above the average. So we need some dry weather. And as we head throughout the day tomorrow, get out the grill. Though it's going to be a little hot by the grill, but still cooking up those burgers and dogs. Hot sunshine for the 3 o'clock hour, 91 degrees, 90 for the 5 o'clock hour. Hot, but not too humid and still in the upper 80s for the 7 o'clock hour. Warm and staying dry. And down the shore tomorrow, sunshine and hot on the sand, upper 80s and low 90s with a bit of a breeze out of the northwest. UV index will be very high, but that rip current risk will be low, and high temperatures touch hotter all across the area tomorrow with abundant sunshine. Will climb to near 90, Berks County, Lehigh Valley, low 80s in the Poconos, and 92 degrees our forecast high temperature in Dover tomorrow. As we head into Monday, a beautiful start to the work week. We start in the 60s and in the upper 80s with very comfortable humidity and a lot of sunshine, but then we start to make that transition on Tuesday. Humidity creeps up, storms enter back into the forecast, and as we head into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and potentially Saturday, pretty good bet for late day thunderstorms. It's going to get quite hot and very humid, especially by Thursday.
Hello, July.
Yeah.
All right, Lauren, thank you so much.
Sure.
Leslie is here with what's next in sports.
Yeah, well, the Phillies signed another veteran to help their bench. Doug Peterson has his eyes on two positions when training camp starts. And what parts of his game is Ben Simmons working on this offseason? His teammate, Tobias Harris, will tell us in sports next.
Well, today is National French Fry Day, and Chickies and Pete's is celebrating with a delicious deal. Crab fries, well, they're still $1, I'm told, and Miller Lite personal pitchers are $5. All proceeds going to charity, the Fraternal Order of Police Survivors Fund. The restaurant also took their fry trucks on the road to feed officers in police districts throughout the city. Very nice.
Cool.
Thank you so much for watching Eyewitness News on the CW Philly. For Lauren, Leslie, and all of us here, I'm Joe Holden. We hope to see you at 11 over on CBS 3. Until then, have a good night.